Last week, the Trump administration announced that they want to ban recreational pot completely. I spent the whole day finding out how Californians feel. Finding a place to rent will be much more challenging. To discuss plans in combating the epidemic. What once was the entrance to the trail that hikers and visitors would use to get a better view of the Hollywood sign is now locked. Will strictly go toward fixing roads and highways. We all know about the thieves going after the packages in front of your house. In a quick snap, the Reveal Imager can show me the UV damage. Requesting a gas refuel is as simple as registering your car, location, selecting the type of fuel you want, and how soon you need it. Winds from Santa Ana brings heat. Live in Los Angeles, Jolanie Martinez, Cronkite News. Longtime hikers April Smith and Bernice Garcia walked miles before embarking on their usual trail, only to find out that they were no longer able to use it as a starting place.
When we went up there, our usual way is to go into the gates, and it's usually open, but today there was a new sign saying no park access.
They were among the many hikers and visitors trying to reach one of the world's most famous landmarks that were instead handed a map and rerouted by park rangers.
Well, now we had to go back somewhere else and find another trail, which sucks.
The city closed pedestrian access to the area of Griffith Park to comply with recent court orders which require Los Angeles to facilitate access to Sunset Ranch. What once was the entrance to the trail that hikers and visitors would use to get a better view of the Hollywood sign is now locked.
I mean, this is really quiet. For the first time in years, I opened the door to my front balcony.
A welcome change for Sarah Jane Schwartz, who's been living in Hollywoodland for about 40 years now. But in the past 5 years, she has run into several issues with visitors due to the limited resources in the area.
There are no bathrooms up here for people who hike. People come and urinate, publicly defecate. I've had people bring a pot and use my driveway to sit in. People have knocked on the door asking to use our bathroom.
The list goes on, from narrow streets with no sidewalks and cars congesting the neighborhood.
The trophy he made. This is his urn.
On September 9th, Stephanie Young lost her only child to a heroin overdose.
He had been sober, and he had got it from someone that he used to get it from, and his body had been clean, and he had overdosed. The person left him, was with him when it happened.
In 2016, the picture has changed completely. It is anyone and everyone can become addicted to heroin because it doesn't start with heroin.
Richard LaPerriere works with people who suffer from drug and alcohol abuse in Ventura County and says heroin users make up 20% of the population they treat.
The passage from X to heroin is the passage through a prescribed medication that contains opioids or opiates.
Zachary's overdose death and 2 more that quickly followed prompted increased attention from police, which took down a heroin delivery service that was operating the same way you might order a pizza.
So in this one, we received information that there was actually a dispatch center. And this dispatch center was that if you wanted narcotics, specifically heroin, methamphetamine, or cocaine, you could call this phone number.
Once an order was submitted, a runner would be sent to a desired location and make the sale. Police confiscated heroin that was packed in colored water balloons, each color representing a certain gram. But police aren't the only ones in Ventura County taking more aggressive action to stop opioid abuse. Last week, the Heroin Task Force met right here at Simi Valley City Hall to discuss plans in combating the epidemic. The Community Prevention Group was formed in 2012 after grieving parents like Melissa Siebers seeked change within their communities.
We were all like, we have to do something like this. There's a problem going on here, and if we can get the city to come together, maybe we can come up with some ideas and make a difference.
Ideas like a needle exchange program and after-school activities.
But what we really need to do is to inform the kids from age 8th grade on up. All the kids need to know, age appropriate, like, look, this is what's going on. You need to make better choices.
Choices that might have saved Zachary Young.
He was my only child. And so him and I were extremely, extremely close. It's just hard. Every day's a struggle.
In Ventura County, Jolanie Martinez, Cronkite News. Next week, LA County voters will decide on how to regulate legalized marijuana. But last week, the Trump administration announced that they want to ban recreational marijuana completely, even here in California, where voters have already approved it. I spent the whole day finding out how Californians feel about a possible federal crackdown.
I am praying to God that Jeff Sessions and Donald Trump take out the marijuana industry.
John Barry is the Inland Empire rep for the Citizens Against Legalizing Marijuana and says Prop 64 is bad for children.
I've seen the damage in personal and in court, just what the damage that marijuana does to young children. And I think it's absolutely insane, as it is irresponsible and immoral.
But Prop 64 supporters believe a federal crackdown on pot would hurt California's economy.
It would affect us because the social equity side of it, the money that will come to our communities.
If the Trump administration decides to move forward, medical marijuana dispensaries like this one in Los Angeles will not be affected. But to avoid problems, Virgil Grant III, CEO of California Cannabis, wants to see more regulation across the industry.
A structure put in place which should control and keep the illicit market from coming alive once again.
Employees, nurses, and community members joined together to vigorously protest the activities in Washington. Retired nurse Holly Boyd is against the potential new healthcare plan.
Yeah, I'm just totally against that. I'm a nurse, and I'm a person, and I got kids and grandkids, and that's awful what they're doing.
The Westside Family Healthcare Center has been supporting the ACA even before it was signed. So if ACA is repealed, the president of the clinic, Deborah Farmer, says it will not only affect the patients, but also have a negative effect on her business.
So if we're not seeing the number of patients that we need to see or the number of visits that we need to see, then we're going to have to let people go.
Supporters want a plan that will meet the needs of everyone.
I would say health care for all, universal health care.